Breaking news into SportsCenter. Busy news cycle for septuagenarian coaching greats. 72-year-old Nick Saban retired yesterday. 72-year-old Pete Carroll out in Seattle. And just now, the news that Bill Belichick, who turned 72 in April, is parting ways with the Patriots after 24 seasons in Foxborough. The 6 Super Bowl titles and all that. Let's bring in Adam Schefter, the man who broke the news. Adam, what more can you tell us about what went into this decision?
Well, David, this was a situation that was going on all week long. Discussions between Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft about how to figure out what to do going forward, what was the best solution. Ultimately, in the end, the two sides came to a meeting that they would go their own ways, and that is expected to happen today with Bill Belichick walking away from the Patriots, more coaching history being made. Yesterday, we saw Nick Saban, the greatest coach in college football history, leave Alabama. Today, we will see Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in pro football history, leave the National Football League. There is expected to be a press conference later today with all the details, but essentially, for the first time in a quarter of a century, the New England Patriots will be embarking on a coaching search, and Bill Belichick will be a coaching free agent. And obviously, what a cycle it's been, what a whirlwind it's been. And let's take a moment here to recognize the historical run that Bill Belichick has had in New England as well, right? That's something as well where he had 24 years there in New England. There were 9 conference championship appearances. There were 6 Super Bowl victories. It's a busy time.
It sure is. Now, Bill Belichick had intimated the other day in his news conference that he would be willing to give up GM duties to stay on as the head coach. Why was that not enough for the Patriots brass to keep him around?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. I think it's a mutual decision, okay? I think both sides had healthy, positive, productive conversation. I don't believe this was a contentious thing this week at all, but it's sort of like when you are married for 24 years and you are in a situation where you have to end the relationship, okay? There's a lot to get through, a lot to sift through, and in the end, they decided that they were better off going their own ways. And it's a situation where basically that's what they figured out was the best thing to do right now, to go their own ways. They had these conversations Monday. Bill Belichick was not in the office Tuesday. They continued Wednesday. And here we are today with a press conference. And it's a situation where they now will have that press conference later today. And they have to find a new head coach. Bill Belichick has to do what he has to do. And again, we have an 8th vacancy in the NFL right now at the head coach position. Again, David, there's so much that these two sides have been through over the years, so much that they've been through together, that they are in a spot here where this was delicate and sensitive, and they had to go through what they did. So it's official. The relationship is ending, and that will be the deal. He's leaving New England 15 wins shy of breaking Don Shula's NFL record of 347 wins as a head coach.
Just 4 wins this year, a 4-13 season for the Patriots. Adam, some thought Bill Belichick might have some trade value and that the Patriots might wait and try to deal him to another team. Why did that not happen?
It's a great question, David. And the Patriots decided to take the high road there. You could hold out in the hopes that you can deal Bill Belichick. But before any other team could trade Bill Belichick for Bill Belichick, they'd have to comply with the Rooney Rule. That would mean 2 face-to-face interviews with 2 minority candidates, and you cannot, by the new NFL rules, interview candidates until after the divisional playoff game. So that would be a wait of 2 weeks. You don't know that a team is going to be essentially interested then. And now you're holding on to Bill Belichick. And then if a trade doesn't materialize, it doesn't look like you treated that guy right for all that he gave you. And that's a case where basically they decided, you know what, he's given so much to this organization that the best thing to do is for both sides to just move on now. And that's what they're doing.
Adam Schefter breaking this news. Adam, you mentioned the news conference today. Do we know if Bill Belichick will be at that presser?
I believe he will be. That is unconfirmed, but that would be my sense that he'll be there today, and we'll see if that's the relationship in the end.
Okay, Bill Belichick, greatest run ever with an NFL team, 24 seasons in New England, the 6 Super Bowls. Adam Schefter with the news that he and the Patriots are parting ways.
Yeah, and in those 24 seasons, we know Damien Woody was there. Damien, thanks for joining us on SportsCenter. You played for Bill Belichick, so what does he mean to your career?
Yeah, he means everything. He means everything. He was the foundation of my football career. He taught me more about the game of football than any coach that I've ever played under. I've always said that Bill Belichick is a football savant. He's a football genius. The preparation, the details, everything that Bill Belichick laid out there for not only myself, but for all the guys that's been through that program. Not only would it carry us through our football career, but just, in life. And so even now, as I sit here, it's still hard to process. I've had a feeling that, that this would come, but it's just when it happens, it's just like, wow, like I can't believe the greatest coach of all time is moving on.
Yeah, and as Adam said, for the first time in a quarter of a century after those 24 seasons.
Those are some of the same principles I use in my own household with my family and kids and everything else. So I always say, man, football is a reflection of life, a lot of life lessons that you can learn from the game of football. And, I've learned a lot from Coach Belichick.
Yeah, we know Tom Brady has learned a lot from him as well. And so much of his success is tied, we know, to TB12. So how do you parse that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talk about Bill and Tom, they're intertwined, and everyone always asks about who meant more to the success. They both meant the same amount, and both those guys have meant a lot to me, and not only my playing career, but just post-career as well. And, it's just, just to be able to play under someone like that and learn the things that I've learned under Coach Belichick, I couldn't ask for more. I just couldn't ask for more.
Damien, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And Chris Berman has more on the legacy of Belichick from New England.
Bill Belichick has always been a student of NFL history. And now, after his departure from the New England Patriots, he finds himself a significant part of it. He's number 2 on the all-time coaching list for victories, including the postseason, behind only Don Shula.
The number 2 all-time coach in the 103-year history of the league, our coach, Bill Belichick.
Whether he will become number 1 with another team remains to be seen. He was always ahead of his time, an NFL assistant at 23, a coordinator of one of the greatest defenses ever at 33, a head coach at 39.
Coached a game here in '94, and I met him, and it was just a very nice connection that happened. When I met him, he came to the old Foxborough Stadium. The best deals I've made in my life are what instinctively feels right to me. He was very well prepared, very thorough. I think intellectually a great student of the game, and to truly build a sense of team, I think you needed a head coach who had an ego that was under control.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to try to repay him for sticking his neck out like he did for me and showing the confidence that he did in me.
With the Patriots, Belichick won the most playoff games and Super Bowls ever.
It's good, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions!
With 31 postseason wins and 6 Super Bowl titles.
Patriots are going to be Super Bowl champions again, back to back. Yes, it's a dynasty.
Belichick and Tom Brady have the most wins by any coach and quarterback combination in history by far.
He treats me like I'm a rookie. You know, he says can't complete, a slip screen in 2 consecutive weeks. Like, what are we doing? And you say, you know what? He's right.
Even in 2007, during their quest for the perfect 19-0 season, Belichick kept the locker room grounded.
That year, I was the only person that would say to the team, you guys aren't great.
You would never know it by his presentation or his press conferences.
You mentioned Tom's age at the draft.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Do you think having a 37?
We're on to Cincinnati.
But Belichick was a wizard at X's and O's.
We got to set the edge over here and play with power inside.
He famously altered his game plan on both sides of the ball, taking away his opponent's strengths and exploiting their weaknesses.
I try to identify a handful of things, maybe 3, 4, 5 things on each side of the ball, so maybe a total of 10, let's call it. 10 things we need to do to win. And then if we get those, we're probably going to win. If we don't get those, then we're probably going to lose, and the rest of it won't make any difference.
He was the leading authority on the NFL rulebook, taking advantage of loopholes most didn't even know existed. Sometimes his thirst for victory appeared to take him over the line.
The guy's giving signals out in front of 80,000 people, okay? Guy's in front of 80,000 people. 80,000 people saw it. Everybody sideline saw it. Everybody sees our guy in front of 80,000 people. I mean, there he is. So it was wrong. We were disciplined for it. That's it.
How did the Patriots stay on top for 2 decades? In the age of the salary cap, he was consistently able to find overlooked players and plug them into his system.
Wilson, quick throw. And it's good. Intercepted.
In the final analysis, that earnest student became the ultimate teacher to his players, his scouting and personnel departments, and his coaches. His bottom line credo: do your job.
Do what you're supposed to do. Everybody just doing their job.
How would you like to influence somebody who's in their 20s or young 30s, as you were, if they look at how Bill Belichick went about being one of the great winners of all time?
Well, I think for me, still the most important thing is the game and respect for the game and the way the game's played and the way it's coached to be played. I like the concept of building and working together as a football team, and I enjoy that part of it the most.
Again, the breaking news 4 days after the Patriots' worst season in 31 years.